Can we lose weight only in one part of our body? For example, only in the belly area or just in our arms? Now, before discussing about these things and, saying yes or no, I think it's very important to look inside our body to refresh a little bit our memory, because I'm sure some of you know this already from school, high school. To analyze a bit what is fat, why do we have fat, and how everything works. How is this whole process? So okay, let's start with the most important thing for today. What is fat? Why we have it, and why it's so hard to lose it. So we all have adipose tissue that is composed of fat cells. Now there are two types of adipose tissue. So we have the white, which I think this one is the most recognizable one. People when think about fat, they think about that whitish yellowish color, and there is also the brown adipose tissue. And today I will talk more about the white adipose tissue, because the fat cells in here create the most trouble. Okay, now let's look at the structure. So the structure of a fat cell is very, very simple. So we have a lipid droplet. I will try to actually show you, in pictures how this looks like. So you have a lipid droplet, which is basically like a lipid reservoir. You also have a flat nucleus, and also there is a cytoplasm which surrounds, this whole ensemble. And fat cells are used to store excess fat so that we can use it when, we will need it later, when our body will need more energy. So once again, pay attention to this. I'm telling you that the fat cell is used to store excess fat. However, I will explain to you in a second what is the main component of a fat cell, of the lipid droplet. And after that, how other elements can be converted into the fats, inside a fat. So this is actually a very, very important thing, and I want you to remember this. The main component of a fat cell, that we can find in the lipid droplet are triglycerides. Now, triglycerides are a combination of glycerol and fatty acids. And now there are two parts of the story. So first of all, how we store that fat, the triglycerides, and then how we can use that, how we can burn that fat. And of course, to answer these two questions, we need to know exactly from where we get triglyceride. And there are, a couple different ways. So the first one will be that triglycerides can be derived directly from the fats in the food that we eat. And there are also some other ways that involve carbohydrates and protein. So basically, we have in our fat cells fats that, were sometimes fats in the food, were sometimes carbohydrates, and were sometimes protein. And now let's explain these as well. So as you already know, our body uses glucose for, as energy for everything. So glucose is the fuel. Now all the carbohydrates will supply the body with glucose that will be used for just immediate energy needs. However, if you eat more than you use, your body will transform that in glycogen. And now remember the components of triglycerides. So we have glycogen and fatty acids. And now after we have the glycogen, our body again will transform that into triglycerides, and then we'll store that in the lipid droplet. And glucose can also be generated by the breakdown of proteins. So we can get glucose there as well. Then again, if you have it in excess, it will be transformed in glycogen, triglycerides, fat. So to summarize things here, if you eat a lot of fatty foods, especially those very unhealthy fatty foods, saturated fats and all that jazz, if you eat a lot of carbohydrates, especially the simple carbohydrates, simple, complex, it doesn't matter, if you eat too much, your body will transform all that excess in fat. But also a very important thing, this process starts only because of insulin. You know that we have this hormone insulin, and what it does basically, when you have a high blood sugar level, so if you have a lot of blood sugar all the time and you don't use that energy, it will stay in your blood, and the hormone insulin will come and will regulate the blood sugar. And basically what it does with that excess energy, transforms it into fat. I mean, it gets, you know, the impulse, it gets the signal that this excess is not used right now, so it should be stored as fat for, you know, our black days. Now let's talk about how we can burn that fat, that extra fat that we have, you know, in our body. Your body will start to burn that extra fat only when it will need more energy. But again, triglycerides should be broken down into glycerol and fatty acids in order, you know, for them to be used in our body. And this specific process is called lipolysis. Now, to activate lipolysis, we need hormones. Now, there are a few hormones that can induce lipolysis, but the two main ones, I would say, that is glucagon and the growth hormone. So one of the reasons why these hormones are released in the body is because of the low blood glucose concentration. Now, please pay attention to this, because hormones circulate freely in our blood vessels, so they go everywhere. It is impossible to keep those only in one part of our body, so they will signal all the fat cells to release the fatty acids, you know, because our body needs energy. So once again, we cannot keep hormones only in one part of our body, only in our belly, only in our arms, only in, I don't know, our face. And I actually get this question a lot: can I lose weight only in one specific area? And the answer is no, because if you lose it, you know, if you lose that fat, you will lose it everywhere. But there is another thing. Even though your hormones go in your body freely everywhere, they, you know, give the signal to all the fat cells, different parts of your body will not burn the fat in equal amount. And there are a couple of reasons here. So first of all, it's because of blood circulation. So for example, in one area of your body, the blood circulation is not so good. And of course, if you don't have very good blood vessels, if you know, the hormones will not go in there to signal the fat cells in that specific area, of course, the fat cell will not release, you know, the fatty acid. If you have more fat in one specific area, for example, you don't have a lot of fat on your legs, on your arms, you have more fat in that specific tummy area. For example, you have more fat in your arms, but not a lot in your legs, your tummy area, you know, stuff like this. You will see that part in which you have more fat to lose it harder. There's another reason why we will not lose fat, you know, in different parts of our body in equal amounts. Now, as women, we tend to have more fat, especially in the lower part of our body. Not in all the cases, but usually the tummy area, and also just a lower part from the waist down. These are all just evolution factors, fat storage for future, because we will have kids, and you know, that area should have more fat and stuff like this. I mean, this is, you know, how our body is basically. And usually our body will tend to not burn that fat easily, because, I mean, our body will try to really just keep it till the end. So this can be also another reason why we lose weight differently. And I mean, if you think, you know, in general, losing weight, losing fat is a very unnatural thing for our body, because our body is actually constantly trying to store fat for those, you know, for in the future, for those very black days when we will, I don't know, we will not have what to eat and stuff like this. It's very natural to gain weight. It's very unnatural to lose it, to lose fat especially. And this is of course because our body cares about us very, very much, in excess actually. So yeah, it's friend and enemy here. And there are also different body types. This is a very important thing as well. And also we all have different metabolism. I mean, somebody will have a slow one, somebody will have a normal one, somebody will have a very, very fast one. And also I truly believe that genetics and also where you live, where you grew up, is very important. It's a very important factor here as well, because for example, some people that live in a very hot climate, very warm one, have a lot of fruits, a lot of veggies, a lot of things like this. Their body is used to that kind of stuff. So for example, if they try to eat more food that they will not find in the country in which they were raised, or when they starting basically eating, how they started eating, our body adjusted to that certain food, and when they start to eat something, I don't know, a bit more, I don't know, heavy, or things like that, that somebody from a very cool climate will eat, they will start maybe to gain weight, or will start to have a very slow metabolism, or things like this, will not feel very great. I know about some of these cases, and I think this may be true as well. I'm not again 100% sure. Okay, so now let's talk about the last thing. What we need to do in order to lose fat. So what we need to do basically is it's very obvious, to use the energy that we obtained after the lipolysis. So how can we do this? Is to just stay active, to do a lot of things, to work out. Why not? And when I say you need to work out, you don't need to work out every day. Maybe you can work out 3 times per week, maybe 4. Maybe you can just stay active to, for example, if you walk a lot, if you run, if you like running, this is a really great way to stay active as well. Also, if you have a lot of muscle mass. Actually, I think I said this in another video. Muscles require constant feeding, so you will actually, burn energy all the time. So now also, I talked about insulin. If you have like a really, really big amount of fat to lose, if you have, a lot of really excess fat to lose, and you want to lose it, because this is of course very important, keep your insulin level quite low, because as I said, insulin is the hormone that is responsible for transforming that excess energy into fat from the fat cells. Of course, insulin transforms those directly. Insulin gives the signal. So if you keep it quite low, your body will not get the signal that you should store that excess energy as fat, but that energy will stay there and will be used when your body will need it. And also, a very important thing, you will not feel really hunger at that time, because you have that energy inside you, so you will not feel like you are hungry. You will feel this, but not like after 1 hour, for example, or after 2 hours. But it's very important that you have a good health condition when doing this. This is very important. So if you have some kind of disease, I don't know, some health problems, you should definitely just consult with a doctor, with a specialist. So to summarize everything that I talked about in this video, we have 3 key factors here. So the first one is lipolysis, so the breakdown of fats to the blood flow and signals from hormones, which is of course critical for transporting those fatty acids and all that energy to our body, to other tissue. Pre-oxidation, so the actual fat burning. So you need to use that released energy. So the lipolysis is actually not the most important thing here. It's definitely important, it's a key factor, but it's also important to have a healthy body. so everything is working, the blood circulation is good, the hormones, you know, everything works in your body. And also it's really important to burn that fat. So again, what is the point of having, you know, lipolysis if you actually will not use that energy, that released energy? I hope you understood something from this video, and I hope it was helpful. I will be honest, I'm not a fan of filming this kind of videos. I mean, it's really easy for me, you know, to talk about something, but it's not so easy for me to talk in English because it's not my first language, it's not my, my native language, and the way I'm thinking in my own native language, and I need to translate that, you know, very fast, and sometimes some sentences may not sound as good, may not make so much sense maybe. I hope you really understood what I wanted to say today. I mean, I always try to speak in a very easy kind of English so that everybody can understand. And also, guys, I wanted to just make a quick announcement, because I'm starting with this video, I'm starting my healthy week, I would like to call it. So basically we'll have a week full of workouts, health related videos, you know, weight loss, stuff like this, and this is actually the first video. And so you'll have tomorrow, on Monday, you'll have my full body workout, then the next day you will have my abs and arms to work out. One day I don't do anything, and then again you will have a full body workout, and then on Friday you will have legs and a little bit of abs as well. On Saturday I usually just run in the morning, or you know, in the evening, it really depends when I want to. And then in those 2 days where I don't do any kind of workouts, I like just to stay active. I walk a lot, you know, do some other things. So you'll have 4 workouts, you'll have some other health related video, this one, so I may actually put makeup tutorial maybe in some other days, I mean in those days in which I will not post any kind of videos. But yeah, so I hope you will enjoy this week, I hope you will enjoy these videos, and yeah, take care, have a lovely day, and I will see you tomorrow.